We have understood like how to create a register user page and how to register the user into the database, and successfully we are able to register also user in the DB, okay, based on the roles and encrypted password also. Now we have to provide the flexibility so that user can easily log in our applications, okay. So for example, this is the register page, and if I try to access your product, then it's asking me to provide the username and name and password. So if I give here username and password, which is maybe already existing users, we have prince 1 2 3 4 5, and if I try to sign in, it's saying like bad credentials, okay. Let's go to the previous page and try to sign up one more users. I'm going to sign up, for example, prince, and password is 123, and let's sign up it. So user is successfully registered, and if you go to the database, just refresh it. So if you see, username is prince and 123 password is inserted also. So how we can log in? So let's go to the login page, okay, /login, and try to log in it. So I'm giving here the prince and password is nothing but 123, and I'm trying to log in. It's saying bad credential. It means whatever the data we are passing, it's not accepting those data, okay, and we are not able to log in with that password. Still, if you see, if you run your application, we are able to see those password in our consoles. So that we don't want to see, right? Because we have to log in with our password, our user ID. So how we can do it? So we have to do some configurations. So let's do it. So what are the configurations we have to do is, so here we have to create things called DAO authentication providers. So we can write public DAO authentication providers, okay, and with the help of the DAO authentication providers, we can configure those objects easily. So let's create DAO authentication providers, DAO equal to new DAO authentication providers. We can create the object for that, and then after in the DAO you can set user details, and then after, okay, user detail service you can set, and then after you can set DAO dot set password. So what are the password we have used to encode it, same things we have to pass here also. So we are using the B encrypt password encoder, so we can call here password encoders, okay. So with the help of that, but we don't have user detail service class as of now, so we can create those, and at the end you have to return those object, okay. So you can simply return the DAO, okay. So this is the things we have to do every times, okay, for the creating a bin. Now if I just write here DAO @bin, okay, so it will create the object for that, and let's continue it. Now if you see, we are getting some exceptions. Hey, DAO authentication provider class does not have a user detail service, so we have to create the user detail service also, okay. So how we can create those user detail service, okay. So we can go to the service classes, okay, and in the service classes controller itself we can write those code, and let's create one class. The class name is called custom user detail service, custom user details service, okay. So this is the custom classes for the services we have created, and let's implement the method called user detail service, which is the predefined class, okay. User detail service. If you see here in the Spring Boot, we have a user detail service class. With the help of this service, A Spring Boot security will automatically take our user ID and password from the database and they will validate it. It's going to provide one unimplemented method, so we have to implement those methods basically. Okay, after that we don't want to do anything else. Okay, so what it's providing, it's taking one username, so load user by username. So what are the username you have provided from the your page, those data will come here, and from here we have to check like this user is exist in the database or not. Those verification we have to do here. So let's do it. How we can do those verifications? So we can talk to our repository classes. So we have to create the object for repository. So private user registers repository, we can write user register. Where is repository? Okay, this is the repo classes. So user repository, we have user repository. So this interface we can use user repository, and let's auto add it so that easily we can create the object for that. And then after we can check if this particular user is exist in the database or not. So how we can check? We have to be create one methods find by user name, right? So find by user's name we have to create the method. So let's write down here itself. So I'm going to write users repository dot find by id. In place of the id we can pass username, because we have to find the data based on the username, and those username we can pass here. Okay, so after that it will return one user to us, okay, which is nothing but user, and those users we can store in our object. And let's create this method first. So create the methods in that repository classes. So method is also created here. Let's save it. Okay, go to the user details classes and let's save this class also. We got the users. If we got the users, we can validate this user is a correct or not. Okay, so we can do one thing. We can use else or something. Okay, otherwise in the repository class we have to handle with optional. Okay, so let me close all those files first. Okay, go to the repository and we have to handle with optional class, optionals, which is nothing but users, and then after we have to handle it. Let's terminate the programs. So it's going to return you the optional users. Okay, optional user object. So now what we can do is we can easily access those data here, and here we can check if it's giving the any exceptions or not. Maybe user is not available in the DB. In that case it will give some exceptions, so we have to handle those exceptions. So or else throw any exceptions. So we can use the suppliers, or in the suppliers we can use, okay, if any exceptions came, what you have to do is we have to handle those exceptions. So we can say throw new user not found exception, user not found exceptions, and here you can pass some message like user not found. Okay, so this is the simple code which we have to write. Okay, so that we can validate, okay, user is available or not. If user is available, it will not throw any exceptions, then you have to build the object for the users and we have to return it finally, so that a Spring will directly call this method and they will understood this user is a valid or not. Okay, so let's write it user class. Okay, so let's write users, which is coming from the Spring security. So users dot builders. Okay, otherwise start with, you can write with username or with user details. So let's go with username. So we have a usernames, then after you can write dot builder dot password, right? So we have a users, so we can create the object for that simply. So let's give the semicolons, create the object. So this is the user builders, user builder. So user builder dot user builder dot we can pass something called password, and we can get the password from the users. So user dot get password, and then after we can write user builder dot roles also we can put it here. So builder dot users builder dot roles, and user dot get roles. Okay, and we can set those roles easily, and finally we can build those builder, user builder, correct, user builder dot build, and we can return those data. Okay, these implementations we have to do. Once you do those implementation, then your application is ready, but this particular object you have to pass. So make this class as a which class? So we have to make this class as a like service class, so that automatically object will be created for that. Okay, so let's make it @service. So this is the service class we have created, and repository is also fine. Go to the Spring config, and here we have to create the bean for our user service. So private custom user detail service, custom user detail service, custom user detail service, just auto add it so that it will create the object for that. And then after once object is created, you have to assign those object here. So we can pass those object here. Okay, custom user detail service, Control Z, custom user detail service. That's it. Okay, so we have provided each and everything which is required to our security. So security, what required? It's required one bean for the DAO authentications providers, and DAO authentication provider needs one service classes, which is user detail service classes implementation. So they will call load user by username. They will check if it is valid users, then it will give the valid users. If it is not valid users, it's give the user not found. Okay, it will give the response back into the our application. So we have to handle it basically, but as of now it's fine. Okay, now what we have to do, we have already a Spring application configuration. So let's start our application first. Okay, once you start your application in the Spring security, we have just configured the login permit all. So there is no issue in our application, and if you observe here, there is no password is created. Password is not created. which is default password they are generating and they are giving inside the console. Now they are not giving it. Okay, now if you go to the browsers and if you try to refresh it, okay, and if you try to access this, it's sending to the here's, give the name as a password, user prints 123 is a password, and try to sign in it. It's saying like query did not return a unique result. It means two results were returned. So it means we are getting some exceptions because in our DB having a multiple records. Okay, so we have to make this particular column as a primary key, so it will not store basically, but we have not done those things. So what we have to do is we can delete this particular record as of now, and we can see. Okay, so let's apply and let's go to our applications. Let's give the prints and password is 123 123, and if you do sign up, you are able to sign up. Okay, so this is one of the concept which is not required at all anything to do. It's a default things we are using, which is the Spring Boot applications, default login things, each and everything. You can register here new user also, ABC, and you can give 123 password and try to submit it. User registration successfully, right? Then after, if you want to log in, okay, so let's go to the home page. So let's go to the home page and try to access this. It's able to access. Try to do logout, we can't do because we have not implemented as of now those functionality. So just try to log out. You are log out successfully. Now try to log in. So I will not give prints, I will give ABC, and let's check first like data is inserted or not properly. If you see ABC is inserted and password is 123, go to the ABC3 and 123 is a password and try to sign up. Wow. Okay, so with the default one only we have prepared our Spring Boot applications and it's working fine as of now. Okay, if you want to connect with this particular like applications, then also we can do it, there is no issue. Okay, for example, if you want to sign up with login, okay, so you can see this particular page. So in the same way, if I go to the applications and if I go to the home page or maybe any other page, and if I give here, this button is not a button, so let's go with the A and let's give th:/href equal to @ slash, it's a login, right? So give the login. If it is log out, change it to a href, so th:/href, and here you can pass @ open curly braces close / logout. Okay, the same functionality you have to implement in all those pages which you are going to implement. Okay, so let's go to the sign up page. Here also we can do same thing. Right, and home page also we can do same thing. Product page we have not implemented as of now, so let it be. And now go to your applications and now just remove these logins and go to the home page, and after that click on login. You can go to the login page. If you want to go back, go back. If you want to do logout, you can see here, hey, logout is not working because we don't have any logout functionality as of now. Logout handler. Okay, or maybe I have written something wrong. @th:/href. Okay, so th:/href @logout. Okay, these things we have to write in each page so that it will work properly. th color nature logout. Okay, now let's go to your applications and just refresh it and try to log out. It's working fine. Go to the login page. It's working fine. Go to the something sign up page. It's working fine. Again, if you want to go login, go to the login page. But this is the default page. Okay, basically, so that you are not feeling maybe very good or interesting something, but those are the default functionality. This login page or maybe this is the logout page we are doing. So those are the default functionality we have implemented as of now in this project, but later we are going to modify this. We are going to remove this sign up page and we can implement our own sign up page also. Okay, and we can do it also. Okay, it's a very easy, it's not a difficult, you can do it. But this is the Spring security concept as of now we have learned. After that you can implement those things very easily. Okay, thank you so much. In the next video we can discuss lots about it and we can create the page also. Okay, thank you.